Welcome to town. Welcome to Portland.
Love Portland.
Love it?
Love it.
Last time you were here?
Too long.
Well, we're glad you're back, right?
Thank you.
Tonight, Lee and company are playing over at the Aloft at Cascade Center. And then back in October for the Doug First Stop.
Yes.
And supporting the new album, Frames, which that deserves a round of applause. Putting the album together.
Thank you very much.
It's not an easy thing to do. And we'll talk more about the record in a second. But I imagine that everywhere you go, there's this American Idol elephant in the room that always gets discussed and always brought up from ding-dongs like myself. But how is that how has that transition been? Because I imagine that it's always there.
Well, I don't really necessarily look at it as an elephant in the room because I think that it's important to, definitely, show respect and appreciate where I've come from.
Sure.
So, having gone through that process, it's definitely allowed me to start my career, in a much bigger way than I could have ever imagined. But for me, coming off of the show and having some time pass, everyone has their path and their way of doing things. And after we put out, some music right after Idol, I really kind of did some soul searching, I guess you could call it. And I took about a year off to write this record. And for me, everything happened for a reason. Everything we did led up to this album and to making this music that I want to make. So signing on with Vanguard, and having the support from the people around me, from everywhere from my management to my family to my wife to across the board, everyone just saying, do what you want to do what you love to do, and write the songs you want to write. That made the process much easier, and to finally have the only pressure that I feel is the pressure I put on myself, and that's something new to me, which I enjoy because it really is what motivates me.
So there was a lot of pressure on your shoulders getting that first album right out the gate.
I mean, yeah, you're given so much time, but at the end of the day, my name's on it, and I wrote these songs as well. So I mean, I always stand by anything I do.
Sure.
But like anything else in life, when you go through a process and you grow as an artist or as a person, you finally come to a realization. And my realization was that I want to make the music I know I can make and I love to make, and I want to represent myself that way. So to expose people to what it is that I'm actually about and what I'm really doing is a great feeling. And to have the fans I have, which they're incredible, you guys, and the support from everybody, it's been a really crazy and interesting and awesome process.
The new album is Frames. You play a gob of instruments.
Yeah,
all the above. Let's go before Idol. Before you even started, were in a band when you were a kid. Mm-hmm. Was there an album or a guitar or a big brother or sister that gave you a record or something like that started this whole thing for you?
I think the first, I'm sure there was other things that definitely inspired me to be a musician, but the one thing I can distinctly pick out from my childhood is when my dad played Tea for the Tillerman by Cat Stevens. And I was sitting there and I was listening to it, and, I was really young. So, my dad, he throws me the album. He's like, here, look at this, and it's got all the lyrics on the back. And I'm sitting there reading the lyrics as he's singing. Yeah. And I'm like, oh my God, like he wrote this and now he's and it like blew my mind. And from that day forward, I was like, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to do. And I want to do this. Like, I want to write songs. I want to, tell stories and make music. And so I started, picking up every instrument possible and just started doing my thing. And, my songs when I was young were really good. And, but I just my love for music and my love for writing and, the whole environment of being on stage and everything was from a pretty young age. So,
yeah. Did it all have a similar sound, or were you like one of those most 16-year-olds? You're in like a punk rock band.
Well, the first thing I did was I pulled out a Beatles book, and I started learning Beatles songs and writing my own lyrics to them. And when you're 14 years old, it was interesting. But as I got older, I started experimenting with different things, and I started making music and recording music really young as well, like 16, something like that, 17, and. I used to, fool around with banjos and all sorts of stuff. And that's really what my sound was well before I ever went on American Idol. And so for me to have gone on Idol and then, come out and put out the record I did, I felt, there were things missing maybe in myself and in my music that I really felt I got to go back and reintroduce to my recordings. And that's where we're at now. So for me, this album, Frames, is really what I feel best represents me from when I was a kid all the way to what I'm doing now, and it really is me, through and through.
Well, congratulations on a new album, man.
Thank you very much.
You can check him out tonight at the Aloft, or you can go to the Doug Fir on October 2nd and take it in then. The new album is Frames. Once again, Lee DeWyze, everybody.
Thank you so much.